All right, let's do our summary. What do you think of the Super Bowl yesterday? Did it go the way you thought it would? Give me your take.
I mean, I was a little surprised that the Chiefs got blown out as bad as they did, but then again, I'm not as surprised because in my lifetime, I mean, how many close, good Super Bowls have there been? It's usually a blowout one way or the other, like at least from my memory anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised how much the Eagles dominated the Chiefs, but the Chiefs just didn't change up anything at any point in that game either. It's like run the ball or do anything different, throw a screen, try to slow down that rush. But yeah, the Chiefs kept trying to. I don't know what they were trying to do, but Patrick Mahomes dropped back and he was just scrambling for his life every minute. So yeah, it was a little surprising.
Yeah, they game planned that one for really well for sure. Now, do you buy into the whole injury to his head early in the game and that threw everything off? Like,
No. No, I mean, no, I didn't even hear that. But yeah, I didn't.
well, they were trying to make sense of it because everybody expected it to go the other way, and obviously not in a dominating fashion like the Eagles threw on them. So they were looking for a reason. The refs weren't on the take this time. The offensive line decided not to show up and pummel. Like, there's a million different conspiracy theories. I think they just got outplayed. I think it was a legit deal that they just got outplayed.
It's football, and sometimes you just get your ass kicked.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could play 5 more times. It could go back and forth. But yeah, yesterday it was just two different levels of ready, and yeah, the Eagles just smoked them. That happens.
All right, the more controversial. I got 4 topics for you on the Super Bowl. We got to hit all of them. So obviously, the halftime show. You watched it?
Yeah. I mean, it was as expected. I mean, they're not appealing to me for the halftime show. So, yeah, it was fine. It just was, you know what I mean? I don't know what, I mean, everybody always gets up in arms about the halftime show, and I'm not sure what people exactly expect. You know what I mean? Everybody wants it tailor-made for them, but yeah, it's for a younger audience and trying to draw new listeners into that, and it was fine, I guess, for what it was.
Well, see, if you're planning the entertainment, like I watch like rap concerts, and it's really difficult to do showmanship around rap. Like, what are you presenting? Like, you're not throwing out instrument playing skills or range of vocals, or like you really can't wow people with what you're doing. You're standing there and you can bounce around a little bit, but what other things can you demonstrate to really take the crowd away?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of be over the top so much when it's rap, and I mean it's such a not that rap's like niche because it's a huge genre, but for the Super Bowl audience, which is like everybody basically, it's only going to appeal to a certain sect of who's watching if you do that. But yeah, they didn't really insert anybody else. I mean, Serena Williams was there and Samuel L. Jackson was was talking over it and stuff at parts, but they didn't really do anything.
It was awkward as could be. Like it wasn't even choreographed or presented in a way that made sense. There was too many like clunky transitions between music and lecture. It was just so weird.
Yeah, it wasn't for. I mean, again, they're not trying to win me over, so it's just it was. I don't know. Like I said, it was fine for what it was, I guess. But it's just again, that's not a genre that I'm into, so I understand.
All right, my recommendation for next time, like Aerosmith, Run DMC made sense because you had 2 different genres. Like, it wasn't going to be like the halftime show went all country and then everybody else is like, well, that wasn't for me. But being able to hybridize and take some of these overlapping skill sets and giving a presentation for each one of those segments would make ultimate sense. Even if you had a rock band do their thing, but then fade into, somebody else doing their thing. I think that was the way to go. And they hit that a couple times, and it gave us something to talk about on Monday following. There was nothing to talk about. Like, I'm digging to talk about something about this Super Bowl.
I don't think you're going to have rock ever again in the Super Bowl halftime show because I think that genre from a mainstream aspect right now is dead. I mean, they don't even put it on the Grammys. It gets no love from anywhere because it's not in anymore. You'd be better. I think you're more likely to see country and hip hop overlap there because those 2 worlds are still both very big. So maybe that would get more people into it. I mean, I would love to see AC/DC or Aerosmith or somebody like that back, or Metallica or something back in there. I don't think you're ever going to see that though because it just doesn't. It's just not the rock's just not in anymore. You know what I mean, like it was in the 80s and 90s and stuff. You know what I mean? That's kind of gone out of fashion in the last 20 years from a mainstream aspect.
So I went to Punxsutawney 2 weekends ago, and there's like 3 hours of time where you're waiting for the rodent to come out of his house. And so they have bands playing, and the bands are pretty solid as far as what they play. They play some cover songs, they play some original songs. But what they did was they did sort of like a talent show the day before. And out of maybe 20 contestants, they picked 2 of them that then the next morning would come on the stage and they would play along. Now, the audience, which do you think got a better reception? The person that's the novice that went out there and did it big, or the seasoned professional who was on their game? Which do you think the audience loved more?
The novice or the seasoned professional? I'll say seasoned professional, but I'm doubting it.
The 12-year-old girl that comes in and does a rendition of something, but it's full of holes and whatever. The crowd went effing crazy for those people. And so Super Bowl, here's set recommendation number 2, involve like regular people in it. Like I know the commercialization of this is that, you put somebody on there and then everybody swipes on their phone and buys extra things, and then Apple, sponsors it. And that's a whole ecosystem that, sort of makes sense. But I think you're missing the fans in the stands and alienating the people who are watching on TV and whatever. And I just don't think it does justice to it. We'd be way more excited over a 12-year-old trying to sing the national anthem than the person who won 5 Grammys last year who were looking for perfection from them.
But the 12-year-old's not going to pay the NFL to go do the halftime show.
All right, deep dark secret. Those people there, are they commissioned by the NFL to do it, or are they
pay to do it? The label will pay to do it, or there's money behind there to get the artist on. The NFL doesn't pay out for the halftime show, or hasn't in a very, very long time. So if you're on the halftime show, it's because your label paid for it, or you as an artist paid for it.
It's a marketing thing,
yes.
then, right? So you promote an album you got coming up, or your brand, or whatever, and whoever pays the most money gets on the stage.
Yeah,
that feels dirty, man. It feels dirty. But in the music industry, I'm assuming that's pretty standard as well.
That's been standard since the dawn
of
the music
you're ruining
industry.
the fan experience. When they didn't get picked, they paid. They pay to win, right?
That's it. That's what I mean. Yeah, there hasn't. I can't think of the last organic sort of Super Bowl, for lack of a better word, but or one where it's been a while. Like this has been going on for a while, where it's whatever artist or record label or whoever wants to, or entertainment company pays to put it on there. I think Jay-Z's done a couple of these, hasn't he? And isn't he sort of? I think he's behind it. Actually, I think he's the one sort of in charge of it. So a lot of it's connected to him in some way, or his label, or his business dealings, whatever else like that too. So yeah, it's definitely a pay-to-play sort of thing.
You ruined it, man. You totally ruined that.
So
for me.
No 12-year-old.
So the NFL isn't
on rich 12-year-old.
NFL isn't sitting around the conference table and they're not scheming up the best entertainment value for people watching. It's whoever wants to pay. Oh my God.
Yep.
All right. Next thing. Standout commercials during the breaks here. Is there anything that hit with you that's was either funny or clever or touching or awful?
There was a couple. The Bud Light commercial with Shane Gillis that had Huey Lewis, Power of Love in the background. That just hit with me because I like Huey Lewis a whole lot, and I thought it was funny. There was another one.
All right, while you're talking, I'm going to bring up fan favorite Super Bowl commercials and see what people are talking about. Go ahead.
There was another one. Oh, I'm trying to remember what it was, but again, I connect it with a rock song. It was Scorpions' "Rock You Like a Hurricane" was in the background of it, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Must not have been that good if I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there's something that stands out to me again. It's funny because, I mentioned as like rock music not being anywhere near the halftime show or whatever, anything else like that. But if you go to the NFL stadiums, between downs, between whatever, like that's all you hear, and you hear it on the so you see it in a lot of the commercials and stuff like that too, which just goes to show you like they are still appealing to that demo on advertising and stuff, but they don't do it for the Super Bowl halftime shows. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of any other.
All right, well, before you do that, let me just name some. I didn't see half of these, so maybe you did. All right, so we have a Budweiser commercial. This is fan favorites, by the way. These are voted for the Today Show. The Budweiser Super First Delivery.
Yeah, I saw that one with the horse rolling the keg, and all I could think of was, man, I hope those people like foam.
Ruining that beer.
He was rolling the yeah, he was rolling.
But he
the
was
keg.
trying hard, man. It was his first time, and he wanted to be in the. You're too young, dude. You're too small. All right. Next thing is the Lay's Little Farmer commercial with the umbrella. We have the Ultra Hustle, where they played pickleball against people and scammed their Ultra beer off of them. Did you see that one?
I saw that one. That one was all right. I mean, I like Catherine O'Hara a lot, so I mean, but yeah, that was okay.
The mustache and the eyebrows. Like, we both had fluttering facial hair. Did you see either one of these?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, what's all the facial hair flying around in this thing? Like, were those? I assume those were done independently of each other, and yeah, they did one with Eugene Levy's eyebrows rolling around. And
That was
one with
awesome, though. Like, when he could take aim at himself. Even the Seal commercial, where he took aim at himself and he allowed himself to be portrayed as a seal singing.
Yeah, those were okay. Those were okay. Yeah, the Matthew McConaughey Uber Eats one was pretty funny.
Yeah, the Seal Kiss from a Line. All right, there's got to be a better list than this. I'm sure that they rated these already. Oh, controversial. Now, that wasn't controversial. Stealing beer is not controversial.
Yeah, I
didn't see.
I didn't see anything that I would have thought of as controversial.
Hangover Burger? Like, I didn't even see that one either. I don't know where these are coming from. All right, New York Times, they got to put something together for us. All right. Bear Fight Whiskey. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that one, no.
Okay, that's rated as number 1. The Matt Damon Stella Beer one, that was kind of clever. David Beckham.
That one was all right, yeah.
Seal got number 3.
Oh, I did see this one this one stands out because they did a Macho Man spoof. So I'm a wrestling fan.
You got to.
80s wrestling fan. That one was pretty good. I liked that. The dude elbow dropped the table.
Salty Club, I didn't see that one either.
I don't think I did either. If I did, it was yeah. Oh no, I did. I think yeah. Just it was a Super Bowl party, so it was just people talking and stuff. So I didn't really catch the whole gist of it. But yeah, I did see it.
All right, the Pringles mustache. So yes, that was a good one. Oh, Don't Eat a Lava, by far my favorite.
I didn't see it.
So here's the premise. And so it was, I think it was for some kind of Reese's chocolate like lava.
Yeah.
But it had a bunch of people that misunderstood that you're not supposed to eat lava. And even grandma was trying to push herself into a lava bed. And you had a park services person trying to save people from eating actual lava. That was stupidly clever, but it was still funny watching grandma. Let's see if it allows us to play.
Since Reese's came out.
Yeah, sufficiently stupid and just funny because it's just dumb and stupid. But I like dumb and stupid for most commercials.
All right, the GoDaddy one, I did not see that one. Let's see, Coors Light Slow. Oh, that was good.
That was good too. Yeah,
Slow Monday. So the sloths in there going through their day, have beer thrown at them. There was a movie. It was an animated. I think it was a Pixar one where there were the sloth was the centerpiece that. They were approving some kind of whatever, and it was just so much fun to watch them be slow at things. So cast that feeling. Totino's Pizza Rolls.
I didn't see that one.
I didn't see that one either. See, Stock Cold Brew Coffee. Did not see that one. The Ultra Hustle. Saw that one. We already commented on that. That was kind of dumb. Like, yes, we all are familiar with the orgasm in the middle of a diner from When Harry Met Sally, and they recreated it using Hellman's mayonnaise, and I don't know, that one was a little forced.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I get it. They're going for the...
So the not saying we're best one, and this one was funny to me, because I remember when we were running sort of like down through the rules of what you're allowed to do marketing. So I was running a mail order business, and I had one competitor, and so it was he and I, and we would trade barbs on who's the best, who's the fastest, whatever. And so I really looked down through what you're allowed to say according to the FTC, what you're allowed to claim. So he kept claiming that he was the best, and I'm like, bullshit! Like, you're not allowed to say you're the best because that's subjective. You're like, give me some data on that. And you are literally, whether or not you're talking about food or whatever, there are some things that you couldn't say. So when I was watching this, I was watching how they skirted saying they're the best. And the easiest way is to say you're not allowed to say you're the best, but it's implied that you're saying you're the best. And I thought that was kind of masterful the way that they did that. Uber Eats turn back time with Cher. Like, I did not see that. Monday's beer, it got me thinking, is there actually going to be a brand of Monday's beer? Doubt it, but it made for a commercial, a cool commercial. The cul-de-sac, that had me confused. Like, there was absurdity, and it was back-to-back-to-back absurdity. Favorite line in that one was, you have a grill that, whatever.
He said, I spent all my money on this. Yeah.
No, but I have a grill that mows the grass. Was my favorite line in that.
Yeah, no, I thought I like that one. I like Shane Gillis, and I like that one just because they had "Power Love" by Huey Lewis playing in the background. So I'm glad Huey got a nice little check for that one.
The Doritos charades I missed. Barry and Mosley for Squarespace I missed.
I missed that one too. The
Dunkin' Donuts was they're ridiculous. Like they're over the top ridiculous, and I appreciate that. But also, like I had a struggle. Like my only favorite part of that is where they took their competitors in Starbucks, dressed them up under different names, and took shot at them. That's kind of bold, right? But the rest of it was absurd. It did not make me want to buy anything from Dunkin'. It was crazy, but I don't know, ineffective.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest here. I mean, most of these commercials aren't going to make you want to run out and buy the product. I mean, you're just looking for something that makes you laugh.
Win an award, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's not like I'm not a big Dunkin' guy. I mean, like I said, I like the Bud Light commercial, but I'm not drinking Bud Light because I think it's garbage beer. But
all right, Barbershop, I didn't catch that one. Who Eats Art? Like I saw these guys appear, but I was kind of doing other stuff when they came on. Any good?
Didn't see it.
All right. Oh, the old ladies who end up in jail. They were rebels, and they got in lots of trouble. And it was okay on a scale of 0 to 10. It was like a 1 on the funny scale. So it was a little bit clever.
I guess you did not see that one.
Ram Truck's Goldilocks.
Oh, I saw that one.
I did not see it. Tell me about it.
That one was pretty funny. Yeah, the dude's like he's reading a bedtime story to his kids, and he inserts himself as Goldilocks, and and then they add the 3 bears to it. It was very stupid but funny.
Okay. Nerds one, same thing. It was a little bit too much. Like it was okay, but not great. Uber Eats, Cravings of the Century, did not see it. The Mike Ditka one. That was clever because I like when they formulate it based on, like if somebody would do a spoof on the Bud Bowl, like that would have been awesome because like all of us reminisce about how great those things were. And if they make fun of it, it's like gold. So yeah, Mike Ditka.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I did not see the Muppets one with Kermit the Frog. Instacart had a bunch of them. I don't know which one this one is.
Yeah, all the mascots are running to the house, and then they all go into. Yeah, it was all right.
Liquid Death, did not see that one. Budweiser, First Delivery, we already saw that one. All right, we're repeating now. All right, so anyway, over under, like Super Bowl ads used to be the best to watch. So what about the Super Bowl ads made them so appealing? Because I think companies made straight-laced commercials for the most part, but then they got to like bust loose, and you got to see something that you wouldn't have seen in a million years. But I think I don't know what makes it for a Super Bowl ad with you. What would you look forward to?
For me, just. Personally, nostalgia number one. If you have something again like Macho Man sticks out, Huey Lewis sticks out, like these sort of things, like so. Yeah, for me, it's nostalgia. Like if you can tap into that and also be funny, then I love that. Second would be TNA, we talked about this last week, which they don't do anymore.
They didn't run that commercial, as far as I know.
Yeah, I didn't see anything like that. Like, and they used to be all over the place
For
like,
sure.
You
like
know,
the only
sex appeal
TNA
in
was that
commercials.
breast cancer awareness, and so like when you looked at the TNA, you felt kind of dirty later on that it had a breast cancer message on it. But damn, if they didn't pull that at the onset.
Yeah, they don't do those. So yeah, that'd be my 1 and 2, nostalgia, and then TNA. We didn't get any TNA. I mean, then obviously if it's funny, I'm looking, just something outrageous, and then ones that are just completely off the wall, stupid. Like the lava one you just showed was good because it's just totally ridiculous and dumb, but it's fun.
All right, so okay, I want you to pick out a commercial that is at least 10 years old, right? And the first thing that pops into your mind is something that was memorable enough that you can state it to me. What would it be?
I gotta think about this for a minute. An old school commercial that was like that I thought was really good.
Something from a Super Bowl, at least 10 years old, that pops into your brain when you hear Super Bowl commercial.
There was one, and again, this goes back to nostalgia, and it's probably it's got to be around a decade old, where it was like, and I can't even remember what it was for, which is probably not good, but they had, again, this is back to nostalgia. Hulk Hogan was in it. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister was in it. It was like a bunch of 80s, like I think Alf was in it. Like they had a bunch of that sort of in it, and that, again, that sticks out to me because it's hitting where all the stuff I watched or liked as a kid, they stick it on a commercial. I like that. But I don't even remember what it was for, so it couldn't be that good.
So here, let me name it, right? So the Budweiser Chameleons, that was... Budweiser really has had a lock on memorable commercials over the years. You have the Budweiser Chameleons, you have the Bud Bowl.
Was it them or was it the Frogs? The Budweiser Frogs.
You have the Frogs too, yep. Chameleons, Frogs, Bud Bowl, and then they had a bunch of tearjerkers with the Clydesdales over the years. So Budweiser is definitely the reigning champion. And then Bitcoin had one where the whole commercial was a QR code that gave you free Bitcoin that just basically went across the screen. And that was a risk. So but the number one, and I didn't see this because I was too young at the time, but Apple's Super Bowl commercial with the Olympics and the hammer throw. Do you remember that one? All right, I'm going to play it for you. All right, so you have the 1984. You have the people marching in with, looks like prison clothes and bald heads. You have the Olympian running in with the hammer. They're all sitting at attention watching the presenter. Where the Orwellian narrator, but then Apple comes in. Being chased by hooded security agents. She winds up, twirls, throws the hammer, hits the screen, explosion.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
So a 1-minute Super Bowl ad paid millions of dollars at the time to launch the Apple computer, to break what the Orwellian control that IBM had on the computer market. Like, that was deep. That was contrived.
That might have been a little deep for a Super Bowl ad. I mean, you gotta assume people know what 1984 is too. Like, I don't know that. I mean, maybe they did more back then, but I don't know. Like I said, I was 3, so I'm not sure what the public's level understanding of that commercial would have been.
Well, it's famous. Like, 50 years later, people are still talking about the 1984 ad because how much they paid, right? Mm-hmm. How deep the messaging was, and how good the marketing happened for their product. Like, that hits all of the milestones. Like, if Bud Light doesn't sell any more product, or Doritos don't sell any more product, or Apple doesn't get any more downloads, then you spent all that money, and it was just for what? For, there's no commercial activity that happened from it or limited. It was all because, you only did it because your predecessor did it before you.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other ones that were like really sort of iconic from that far back that I kind of remember. I mean, I'm sure if we rolled through a list, I would remember.
I will do that for you.
Most iconic Super Bowl commercials, but yeah, and which ones were...
The top 23 best Super Bowl. And the first one probably is TNA, so we don't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, Mean Joe Green.
Okay,
Coca-Cola. That's
makes
all.
sense.
Everybody remembers that.
The Apple ad is number 2. Jordan, and when the
Oh yeah, yeah. That was yeah, for Space Jam. Is that right?
Yep,
Yeah, that was for
that's
Space
it.
Jam.
the Budweiser Frogs is mentioned by BJ. The Bud Ice Penguins. I don't remember that one.
I think I do. I think I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
What's
Oh,
up? What's up?
more Budweiser commercials.
Cat herding. I don't remember that
I
one.
do remember cat herding. That was funny.
The Joy of Pepsi. Don't remember that one. Terry Tate, office linebacker.
Yeah, I
Reebok.
think I remember that. I remember that one too. He ran around. I think just tackling
Pummeling
the shit
people?
out of everybody. Yeah. I wish he was in when I worked
All
in
right,
the office. I wish he was there.
2006, Castaway was the #1 movie, so they did
Uh-huh.
a play on it with FedEx. We didn't mention whatever Monkey Babies. What is it? Something Monkey Babies. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
Because they referenced it in this last Super Bowl. I'll play it I know it's on this list. Parisian Love from Google. Don't remember that one.
I remember Betty White and Snickers. That was a good
I
one.
remember that one. Don't remember the Force Volkswagen. Brotherhood.
That's probably another one of the
Tearjerker.
tearjerker ones from the Clydesdales.
Viva Young Taco Bell. Don't remember the Tide ad. Michael Bublé versus Bubbly. The Mix Up, T-Mobile. Gwen Stefani. Alexa loses her voice. I don't remember that one either, but it made number 20.
Well, these are newer, but I do not remember them.
Zeus and Era retire. Don't remember that one. Forever the Farmer's Dog. That was a tearjerker. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What did I say I was going to look up? The Monkey Baby. Puppy Monkey Baby.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah, this was just absurd. No, I remember it now.
So Mountain Dew, again, referenced 20 years later in an ad because it resonated with beer drinking Super Bowl watchers.
Yeah, the really, really stupid ones you tend to remember. I don't remember if this was a Super Bowl commercial. Remember the stupid Quiznos commercials with the weird looking subs or whatever, those furry mascot things that were like all teeth and eyeballs, whatever. And it was
No, I
like,
don't remember
thinking
that.
about eating this. I remember it was just so stupid. I was like, what the hell is this? And yeah, just insanity. But yeah, that's in this. It's in the similar ilk as that one.
All right, so the last topic is every Super Bowl has to have something that everybody is talking about on Monday. Probably built into the script. What are people talking about today? And I haven't looked at the news, so I really don't know what it is. But this is, to me, it's the most boring Super Bowl that has ever happened. I don't think anything notable actually happened. So I think everybody is digging for something that is the Janet Jackson nipple reveal. I don't think there's one of those.
As far as what people were talking about this morning, I saw like the halftime show. Obviously, Taylor Swift getting booed when they stuck her up on the screen, they identified her at the stadium, and they booed her. So people were talking about that. Outside of that, not a whole lot because again, like you said, it was such a boring Super Bowl. There wasn't like I'm trying to think there's anything like super. Yeah, nothing controversial really even happened. It was.
So I want to invent one with you. Okay. So on Polymarket pre-Super Bowl, there was a 57% chance that the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce goes into the end zone and proposes to Taylor Swift. And because Kansas City did not win, that a relationship was never forged because of that moment. Your thoughts?
I would not put it past Travis Kelce to propose to Taylor Swift on TV after they'd won. Actually, I would have expected him to do it just because that guy is the biggest attention whore there is. Like Travis Kelce, like all the sort of is he coming back next year? Like, yes, he's coming back because he loves the attention and everything else. Like the guy can't get enough. So yeah, I fully would have expected that to happen. So now he's going to have to do that somewhere else where he can get attention for it. But yeah, I don't think when he proposes to her, it's going to be a a private moment on their own. I could be wrong, but that was had they won the Super Bowl, that would
So
have been
now
the
it's
spot.
a 50% chance that she breaks up with him. So is the relationship now doomed because he could not?
I think the relationship's doomed anyway because Taylor Swift doesn't stay with guys long enough that you know what I mean?
She just needed a song topic.
Yeah.
And Kelsey there will be 20 songs written about him.
Yeah, she doesn't stay with guys very long, like for extended periods of time. So I think that might have been inevitable anyway, but we'll see.
Number one, she got booed during the thing, so it's over for her as far as being part of the NFL. Like, I don't know what the attraction is between those two, where, he's a winner, right? He's prolific in the media, but I think that's all that's going for them right now. And so if you're not a winner and somehow you get minimized because you couldn't pull it out, I think she's gone. Like, I think there's a breakup song coming up.
Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think, if they broke up. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird couple. You know what I mean? Like, from the start, it was sort of like, I'm not sure how this works or whatever. But I mean, it almost seems like, because didn't Taylor Swift date I'm talking out of my ass here, but didn't she date a bunch of musicians and stuff before too? I know John Mayer was one of them. I feel like she dated other people within her periphery, obviously, which is understandable within sort of the music industry. So her with a football player, to me,
weird.
seems like a rebound sort of deal. Where it's like, I'm going to go totally different, but it's going to be this athlete that's sort of, out of what I normally go for. So it seems sort of like that, but who knows? Maybe they'll be lovebirds forever. But
Doubtful, but you're optimistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, polymarket with a 50% chance, that's every marriage or every relationship ever. It's a 1 and 2. It's not going to work. So, that's accurate on the ads anyway.
So the last thing is during that. Thank you. So during that, the pre-game and sort of like the national anthem, that really matters to people. The lead up to that. Now, Lauren Daigle, and you had the Louisiana brass band there playing. I thought that they did that really, really well. I think they did the part well. What did you think of the national anthem?
Yeah, it was
The
cool.
piano
it was like different. It was more in the style of New Orleans and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool. It was something sort of new and different that they hadn't really done before or whatever. But I thought it tied in everything well with New Orleans and I thought it was done well.
Now, what do you think about politics infusing where, Taylor Swift gets booed during her camera shot and President Trump gets, sort of a cheer during the national anthem, and people hated that. Like, they really did. So if, you want to keep it so that you're not alienating anyone. And so when you bring politics into something that should be unifying for people who like football, what are your thoughts on President Trump getting...
Well, I mean,
cheers?
he was there and he got cheered and stuff, but I don't think they made a point out of like showing him a whole bunch or anything like that. So, we discussed this before. I hate when political issues or social issues get brought into football. Like I said, the whole kneeling for the national anthem and all that, like, because people aren't watching football for that; they're watching it to escape that. I don't think it was so overblown, whatever, with Trump getting cheered, just because as far as I remember, they really only showed him like once saluting during the national anthem and he got a cheer, but that was kind of it. So, I mean, obviously you're going to show that he's there, but they didn't really harp on it. I didn't think there was a lot of that in the Super Bowl.
So what are your thoughts, like, in the beginning, throughout sort of Super Bowl history, like patriotism and military, use that a lot for recruiting for people into service. And we got away from that for a couple years, where the flyovers and the anthem were kind of like sort of distilled down, where there weren't as like, I'm proud of my country and this game is all about this, and a big flag in the middle of the infield, not the infield, the field of play. But it seems like that reemerged this year. It was a little bit more patriotic than it had been in the past.
A little bit. They might be kind of testing the waters a little bit to see how much they can bring that back in without it being. I mean, I don't think anybody really gets pissed off at flyovers or that sort of, you know what I mean? Like, and honoring the armed forces and stuff, that's fine.
Big deal.
Nobody gets mad about that. So yeah, I mean, I think like that's acceptable to Americans as a whole. Like, you know what I mean? It's not because it's not really politics. You're thanking veterans, and it's sort of a nod to them. So I don't think that crosses any kind of political lines. You know what I mean? Because you're not injecting those social issues and that sort of thing like we'd said before.
Last thing. Give me the big winner of everything that happened yesterday and the big loser of everything that happened yesterday.
The big winner, I'm going to say, I'm trying to, there's the Eagles, obviously, but specifically, I think Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, their head coach, just because they kind of got shit on earlier this year a lot. Like, oh, is it too much dysfunction? What's going on? Whatever. And they completely turned that around. Just march to the playoffs. They looked amazing the very end of the year and through the playoffs. But I'm going to go with my number one. So this is another guy that's sort of near and dear to my heart because I was a Boise State football fan, and he's the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Kellen Moore, who's going to be in the New Orleans Saints head coach, which I hope he does well there. He's stepping into a shit show of a situation down there. But I'm going to give it to him as the big winner because he's going out as a Super Bowl champion there. He kind of got, if you remember, he got thrown out of Dallas. Mike McCarthy basically had him pitched like, oh, it's your fault that this isn't going as well as it should be or we can't get over the hump. And he completely comes like, no, it's really not. He just went there and just won a Super Bowl, and he's going to get a head coaching job. You know what I mean? So I think he was one of the big winners. But those would be my three. Those three guys, Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts, as far as the really, really big winners. The losers, just Patrick Mahomes just got drilled over and over and over again. He looked terrible. There was nothing that he could do. But yeah, probably Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Just again, I don't know what Andy Reid was thinking after they're down 17-0. Like, why don't after they threw that pick six? It's like, all right, why are you not trying to run the ball or do something? And they just kept doing the same thing. And the Eagles loved it. They just teed off on it. So yeah, that'd be my big winners and losers.
I'm going with Jalen Hurts as the big winner, and I'm going with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce as the biggest losers because I think that breakup does it all.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he was going to propose, that plan got filled. Oh, I'm glad they lost, so I didn't have to see that. Because I mean, everybody was already sick of them. Would have been
We're the biggest winner. Then we are the big winner.
That would have been the number one thing. If the Chiefs won and he proposed, this morning it'd have been really vomiting over that he did that, and you know what I mean. That would have been So, but that didn't happen. So we got spared that, thankfully. Sure.